College baseball. There's nothing quite like it. A game where number one can go down in week one, and a couple of schools on Long Island can upset the teams from last year's championship series. You've got walk-offs and no-hitters, come-from-behind wins, and ultimate grand slams. College baseball has everything you could ever ask for, and sometimes even a little more. The 2024 season has already given us so many unforgettable moments, and we're not even through the first 2 weeks. In this video, I'll go through the newly ranked top 25 from D1Baseball.com and give a few of my thoughts on the teams as well. Dallas Baptist enters the rankings at 25 after starting 7-0. They've already taken down one team from Oklahoma in a midweek, and they'll have a chance to do so against another this Tuesday against the Cowboys. UC Santa Barbara moved down to 24 despite a series win at Sacramento State. They'll be tested this week as they travel to Eugene to face Oregon for a weekend series. Auburn enters the rankings at 23 after a 6-1 start, which is highlighted by a Friday night win over previously ranked Iowa. Coastal Carolina moves up to 22. After losing 2 out of 3 during opening weekend, they responded with a 4-0 week, averaging over 15 runs a game. Campbell is at 21, and they're already building quite the resume, which includes a road series win at UCSB and a midweek triumph over East Carolina. Indiana comes in at 20 as the only Big Ten team in the rankings. They've already accumulated a road win over Coastal Carolina and a sweep at Baylor, contributing to a 6-1 start on the season. South Carolina moves up to 19. They've already pitched a no-hitter this year and have given up 4 or fewer runs in 7 of their 8 games. Their first big test of the season comes up this weekend in their yearly rivalry matchup with Clemson. Texas Tech comes in at 18, and their offense has looked dangerous so far this season. 32 runs in one game is crazy to think about. North Carolina moves down to 17 after dropping a tight series to ECU. Those games were incredible to watch, and it's a shame that someone had to lose that series. Alabama moves into the all-important top 16 after a 5-0 week continued their perfect record through 8 games. They'll be on the road for the first time this week, which contains a trip to Texas for the Frisco Classic that includes a couple of top 25 matchups. The Texas Longhorns are at 15 and head over to Houston this weekend for the annual tournament at Minute Maid Park, which features ranked matchups with LSU and Vanderbilt. NC State survived a tough road series with Hawaii, but moved down a spot to 14 in this week's rankings. A couple more ACC teams come in at 13 and 12, with both Virginia and Duke starting the season 7-0. East Carolina stays at 11 after a really fun series win over UNC. This team seems to have a little magic in them already. Could this be the year they finally get to Omaha? Clemson stays in the top 10 after surviving a scare from Kennesaw State. They'll be tested this weekend when they face the Gamecocks in one of the great rivalries the sport has to offer. Coming in at 9 is Vanderbilt, who dropped 3 spots despite the series win over Gonzaga. The Commodores have been one of the most talked about teams already this season. One could argue that this team should be 8-0, as they held late leads in all 3 of their losses, but they could just as easily be 3-5, as 2 of their wins were 9th-inning comebacks. There's lots of newcomers on this team, especially within the pitching staff, so they're still trying to figure out the best roles for everyone. I'm not overly concerned with the Vandy boys just yet. I trust Coach Corbin to have his team ready for conference play in a couple of weeks. Let's remember, just last year they started the season 5-3 as well, and ended up winning the SEC championship en route to a top 8 national seed in the tournament. We'll stay in the Volunteer State for number 8 as Tennessee moves up 1 spot in the rankings. They're looking to be a dangerous team again this season, as Coach Vitello is trying to get back to Omaha for the 3rd time in 4 years. The lineup is deep, and there's some talented arms in the pitching staff. Texas A&M comes in at number 7, and they've dominated their opponents along the way to their perfect 7-0 record. They've got a lot of talent, and are looking to build on last year's regional final appearance. Oregon State is the only Pac-12 school ranked in the top 25, which is honestly kind of fitting. Their only blemish was a classic they had with Arkansas at Globe Life in a weekend that they still ended up winning 2 of 3 in, while opening some eyes in the process. TCU stays at 5, though a case could be made that they've been the most impressive team in the country. After multiple incredible come-from-behind wins during opening weekend against Florida Gulf Coast, they followed it up with a dominating sweep over previously ranked UCLA. They're 7-0 and play 5 more games with tough Pac-12 competition this upcoming week, which includes 3 at Globe Life in Arlington. The Gators responded well after getting swept at home by St. John's by going 5-0 this week. Yeah, I know, it was only 1 game against the Johnnies since games 2 and 3 were canceled due to weather, but technically that's a true statement, right? Anyway, the Gators look to be a title contender again this season, and will travel to Coral Gables this weekend for their annual rivalry series with Miami. The defending national champion LSU Tigers stay at number 3, though it just doesn't feel like they've hit their groove yet. They're 7-1, but have played closer games than they probably would have anticipated so far. I know I'm just nitpicking the little things, and I'm sure they'll be fine in the long run, but I do want to see a little more from them. They'll face a big test this week as they head to the state of Texas for 4 games, which includes a top 15 showdown with the Longhorns on Friday night at Minute Maid, which is a game that I heard is expected to have a record crowd. Arkansas stays at number 2 after a really fun weekend at Globe Life. They went 2-1 across 3 one-run games and are looking to be one of the top teams in college baseball again this season. The pitching staff is talented, it's deep, and it'll tally a ton of strikeouts. This has been one of the most consistent programs in college baseball recently, and I expect them to make another deep run again this season. Staying in the top spot is Wake Forest. After dropping a close midweek game at UNC Greensboro, they responded with a sweep against Dayton, who I remind you just took down Vanderbilt at the Hawk a couple days ago. The Deacons pitching staff is as talented as they come, with 3 legitimate aces in their rotation. I do want to see a little more from the offense because it doesn't feel like they've hit their stride yet, at least when it comes to the power numbers, but don't be surprised if we see this team in Omaha again in June. Here's a look at the full D1Baseball.com top 25 through the first week and a half of the season. We've got a lot of big-time rivalry matchups this weekend, and I'm looking forward to bringing you all coverage from them. There's one other thing I want to bring up, as the channel just reached a pretty big milestone. We've officially hit 500,000 subscribers. It's honestly incredible to think how far the channel has come over the years. I never imagined that it would reach this point, and I'm incredibly grateful for all of the support it's received over the past 5 years. Thank you to everyone that has supported the channel, and thank you for watching this video as well. Let me know if you enjoyed the video by hitting that like button and leaving a comment down below. I also tried out this style of video towards the end of college football season, and I'm thinking about making more of them for college baseball as well. Thanks for watching everyone, and have a great day.